The opinions expressed by the host of this video are those of the host and do not necessarily represent those of Pageant Live, its affiliates, or its sponsors. The information being presented is not scientifically vetted nor guaranteed to work for all pageant competitors. Opinions expressed by any guest are solely those of the guest, and neither Pageant Live, its affiliates, its sponsors, nor the host of the show are responsible for them.
Welcome to Pageant Verite. We are so excited to have you join us this evening. Tonight we are taking on a story from the Miss America organization, and we are so excited about that. But first, I'd like to get to the point of our most important co-host, Mr. Kyle Haggerty. What you doing, Kyle?
What's up, Miss Carly? I am reporting to you from the nation's capital, which is where I now reside. So I'm here being fantastic, being fabulous, sporting yet another bow tie for you.
We love your bow ties.
Well, it's from the Kyle collection, I would like to think. Anyway.
Really?
So I'm sitting here just chilling out and hanging out with Miss Carly.
Have you been anywhere exciting in the last couple weeks?
Well, you know I'm never in the same city every day. So actually I've been doing a lot of traveling. And for those of you all out there in internet land that don't know, I am a regional manager, regional director with the World Championships of Performing Arts. And so I've been traveling around doing auditions, and we're putting together Team USA, which is going to represent the United States at the World Championship in July. So I'm coming to a city near you. Come to World Championships. So if you're a singer, dancer, actress, if you are a pageant girl looking to take your talent to the next level, then hit me up. I'll tell you about World Championships so you can be on Team USA. One other thing. When I'm going to these different signings, I will be doing a book signing. Guess what?
His book, yeah.
If you haven't got your copy, get your copy. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to be getting on an airplane. I will be in a different city every week between now and February 15th. So keep up.
Well, we are thrilled to death. I am so thrilled that you take the time out to co-host with me. You're amazing. You're awesome, and love you to death.
It's your world, and I want to live in it.
Oh, honey, come to Seattle, baby. And that's where I'm broadcasting from, live from Seattle, Washington. My name is Carly Rose, and I am the reigning national queen with today's American Woman pageant system. Pageant Verite is something very, very close to my heart. Along with a lot of other pageant girls, sometimes we go through some dramas and some traumas that really change our lives a lot. And that is our next guest. The Miss America system is known to be the dream maker system. Our next guest had her dreams shattered. She had spent a lot of time wanting to be her state's representative in the USA pageant. Teresa Scanlon was Miss Nebraska, gotta have live, and went to the nationals and won Miss America. And she was so flattered. She wanted to be that so badly. But Teresa, okay guys, this is live TV, right? Most girls enter the Miss America system to win scholarship money. Our guest has always dreamed of that, but after winning the Miss Alliance title, she had it taken away. And so we're going to go right to Natalie and have Natalie share her story. I'd like to introduce you to the real Miss Alliance 2012, Natalie McGovern.
The one that was crowned. Let's be clear.
Okay. The one that was crowned in my opinion, should have been the real Miss Alliance.
Okay, with that being said, all right, let's hear it.
Natalie, let's hear your story.
Hi, guys. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Too.
I'm coming here from Omaha, Nebraska, where I currently reside. And so about, 2011, I competed for my city local pageant, Miss Omaha, and basically asked the director, because I was 23 at the time, I asked the director if I had met the age requirement to compete in the pageant. She looked at everything. She said, yeah, that's fine. You can go compete. So I competed in Miss Omaha. You know, I competed in Miss Kearney, and then I competed in Miss Alliance, and I won. And it was the first pageant I had ever won, the first crown I had ever won, and it was just such a surreal moment for me. I couldn't believe I actually did that because, and by the way, I turned 24 when I did Miss Alliance, so I had a birthday in between. And that's when this all comes into play. But anyway, I could not believe that I had won because I put so much time and effort into it and so much money into it, you know, and just prepared and prepared. I didn't even really have a coach. And I had people tell me that I had really improved with each pageant. You know, I just got further and further, you know, until I was right up to the point that I needed to be to win a crown. So for me, that was a huge accomplishment. And I remember standing on stage and hearing my name called, and I cried. It was amazing. There's nothing like being crowned. Really, literally, and honestly, nothing like it. So I would say it was about an hour after the pageant. I got pulled aside by the director of Miss Alliance, and she had the contract in front of her, and she told me that I actually was too old to hold the title. Excuse me, too old to hold the title, and that they were going to have to take away the title of Miss Alliance, my crown, and my scholarship money.
And this is an hour after you've won.
An hour after I was won, the press was present. Everybody saw it happen. They pulled me into a room, told me I could not post it on Facebook. Excuse me for a second.
And this is the time she had spent $3,000 plus in training for this pageant.
Yeah.
She'd went through 3 local competitions to finally get to this point.
Right.
And been told by her director she was the right age to compete.
Everyone approved, that I could do it. The point was they didn't check the paperwork, and there was, I guess you could say, negligence on their end. Nobody checked it. I had permission, and so after they said they were taking away the crown, they called the runner-up into that room, and she was there, and they made me put the crown on her head.
Oh my God!
They took a picture of it. They took a picture of it.
Okay.
I'm not kidding you. This really happened. Oh my goodness.
They
I remember that I was already in shock.
Wait
the
a second.
first runner-up.
Hold on a second.
Crown the girl that was the first runner-up
What do you think,
in the
Kyle?
room and take a picture. We're talking, I'm already in shock, and now I'm like on the verge of tears because I just found out that I was going to Miss Nebraska an hour ago, and now that's not happening for me anymore. I don't even have a shot at Miss America. And on top of that, I'm never going to be recognized. They said not to post it. They said it's like I had never competed. Never. That I didn't, invest $3,000 into the Miss America organization and, the Children's Miracle Network, which I, greatly support. And it was just so heartbreaking. And
so
my mother
with Miss America, the organization, completely deleted.
Yeah, completely.
So that looking back, they will never have your name there.
And I was on the phone with the director, and he was trying to tell me, all this stuff. Just how it was handled was very, very, very wrong because they could have done it in a different manner, and it was so traumatic for me, and I remember that I went home. Well, first of all, my mother wasn't there. No family was there when I won. I luckily had a friend's mom who was present, and she was there, and she's like, let's leave. I took my flowers. I had to give away the crown and the scholarship that I had and the invitation in the packet for Miss Nebraska, and there was something else. Oh, of course, the sash. All I had was pictures, but seriously, that's all I left with. And I remember going home the next day, and I just sat on the couch and just ruminated, and just thought about it. And I pulled out a pen and paper, and I wrote Miss America a letter. And I said, please amend the age back to 28. This is before they moved the pageant, of course, to Atlantic City. I said, please please amend the age. And this is heartbreaking for me. I mean, I wanted to do so many things with this title. I dreamed of going to Miss America when I was a little kid, I mean, every girl does. But for me especially, that was a huge, huge dream of mine. And I've competed in other pageants before, but I had never succeeded until I started doing Miss America. And that's when I thought I really had a shot, So I pleaded with them, and I wrote to, who was it? Probably Sam Haskell and whoever else I could think of, the field director of Miss America. And, I followed up with them too. And the field director did get back to me, and he told me that it was the jurisdiction of Miss Nebraska, meaning the director of the Miss Nebraska board, and he had no part in it. And so
the board of your state pageant could have said you were fine.
They could have.
But they chose not to.
Exactly. Because my birthday I actually had my birthday yesterday, December 11th,
Happy
1987. Birthday. And the age cutoff is 24. However, it has to be 24 at the time of the competition, and I would have been 25. But let's remember that I think it was the year that Teresa Scanlon competed, or maybe it was it was the year that Laura Kepler competed. There was a girl from Alabama, and she was 25, and they showed her age on the screen, and I asked the field director, what does that mean? And he said, well, she just had a birthday. Happened to be on the date of the pageant. Okay.
Same thing.
I don't see how that's any different.
I have some questions.
Okay.
I have some comments. Let me redo the disclaimer just so we don't have any problems.
Okay.
This is Kyle Ian Haggerty's opinion. It's not the opinion of Pageant Live. It's not the opinion of Carly. It's my opinion. So I got some questions for you, and I have an opinion because Lord knows I never have too much to say when it comes to the Miss America system.
Right.
As many state title holders and local title holders that I've had with the Miss America system, there are just times when I shake my head. You know, Natalie, I understand your dream. I understand the greatness of the Miss America program. I get it. I really do. But when I hear things like this, it makes me say to people, this is why Miss USA don't have these kind of problems. You know, it seems like that whenever there are issues in pageants, 9 out of 10 times when it comes to this kind of things, when it deals with people on a personal level, it's Miss America. Now, Miss USA has its own set of issues as far as the photographs and all of that. But at the end of the day, Miss USA knows what it is. Okay, every year with Miss America, it's something different. But before I get into my opinion on that, I have a couple of questions to ask you, Natalie. Okay, you competed at 23, you turned 24. Was this your first and only year competing in the Miss America system?
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay, why did you wait, if I may ask, why did you wait so late when you could have started competing at 18?
That's a good question. I honestly didn't have the money. I came into some money when I was 23, and I said, I'm going to use this to compete because I always wanted to. And I didn't really feel like I was ready at the time, you know, being a little bit older, I was ready.
Okay.
And then when I realized that, oh, yeah, I'm going to have a birthday, I'm going to be 24, and that's the cutoff, and that's the last year I can do it, well, yeah, I'm going to go for it, you know. Same with Miss USA. I just turned 26. The cutoff age is 27. This is the last year I can compete in Miss Nebraska USA.
Now, based on where your birthday is, you would have been 25 at Miss Nebraska. Is that correct?
No, at Miss America.
You would have been 25 at Miss America. Okay.
Yes, because it was in
All right, let me stop there for a second. I have a situation, or I had, I'll put that in air quotes.
Okay.
I had a situation with one of my clients who lives in Georgia, who is in the same boat as you as far as when we looked at the paperwork, we found the paperwork very ambiguous. You know, we weren't really quite sure, was she going to age out or was she not going to age out? And when we called certain people, you know, to see is she or is she not, we couldn't get a straight answer. You know, people were shrugging their shoulders like, well, we're not really sure.
That's unbelievable.
Okay, so let me tell you what I told my client. I said to my client, look, we don't know what's going to happen. My thought is let's prepare, let's get ready, let's compete. Just understand that if after the fact they choose to do this, just be emotionally ready to do so. Okay, because when it's ambiguous, you have a choice. You sit your butt down and you don't do anything, which I never advocate that, or you get up, you do something, but understand, you know, the consequences of what it could be. And so the first person I fault in this whole situation is the director of Miss Alliance. Okay, that director should know better. And if that director did not have the answer, okay, to if you're eligible or not, but he or she wanted you to compete, or if the board wanted you to compete, they should explain to you, we're going to let you compete because we're not sure. However, Miss Nebraska can come to us and tell us that you can't compete. If that's the case, this is what will happen. So when it did happen, of course you would have been disappointed, but it would not have been devastating. So the first fault goes to the Miss Alliance pageant. And do they not have someone on their board that actually reads the application?
Oh, I know. Well,
Go
can I
ahead.
stop you for a second?
Sure.
I actually have to say this is not the blame of Miss Alliance, but Miss Omaha. This director let me compete when I should not have. And she came back later and said it was a mathematical error. Because I had her on the phone, you know, everyone was on the phone with her. Why did you let her compete? It's a mathematical error. I'm sorry.
Right. Whatever director has the jurisdiction to let you compete or not compete, that is where the fault lies. Okay. Right. And the way that I understand it is that in most businesses, and Miss America, I would like to think is a business, even though it's a scholarship program, which I got something to say about that in a minute. But, you know, last time I remember it's the Miss America pageant. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, if the fault relies with them, then they should make the adjustments to accommodate you because you didn't make the mistake, they did. Okay, and so I have an issue with that. Another thing, where in the hell does a local tell you what you can and cannot post on your Facebook?
Exactly.
I know.
I'm sorry. Are they paying? Are they paying your bills?
Right.
Okay. Are they signing your check? Okay, now if they're paying your car note, paying your rent, paying your bills, and buying you clothes, and they want to tell you what to do, that's one thing.
Right, if they own
Okay,
you.
but not only do they not do that, they're going to take something away from you and tell you not to do that. That's not, I don't even want to say that's a representation of the organization nationally. That's a representation of that local.
Right.
You know, that really need to put themselves in check, because that's not right. Because, you know, Natalie, you are right. The Miss America organization is a great organization. But when you have local directors like this that don't got it together, then really, in my eyes, it's the responsibility of the Miss America organization to step in and make it right. And so I'm not understanding why they didn't do that, considering the type of organization that it is. It is a non-for-profit scholarship pageant. I don't understand that. So my thing is this, I've read something, Natalie, where you stated that you spent time trying to clear your name.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
Yes,
when I read that, I had a little bit of a challenge with that, and I'm going to share with you what my challenge is, and then I want you to address that. Okay? Is that, okay, this incident happened. You were done wrong at the end of the day. You filled out the paperwork. Their responsibility is to look at it and do whatever math that they say that they need to do. Okay? And obviously they did not do it, and now you have to take the brunt of a consequence of something that you did not do. They made the mistake. So why is it that you have the responsibility of clearing your name? What was going on? Why you felt the need that your name had to be cleared?
Well, first of all, every girl that I had competed with in those pageants thought that I had a scandal. You know, they thought, I don't know what they thought, but all they know is all of a sudden Natalie doesn't have her title anymore, and the runner-up is taking it. I had about 5 people, I want to say, delete me off of Facebook immediately. I had people, I saw like rumors in the feed on Facebook about what had happened with me, all kinds of stuff. And I know throughout the year, I mean, it just seemed like I was ostracized, you know, in my pageant community.
So Natalie, it was not put out there publicly at all with these girls that you were taken out because of age? They just let it hang?
No.
So you could have killed somebody and they found out and took your crown away. I mean, they didn't know, right?
Whatever the deal was, they didn't disclose anything.
I would have wanted to kill somebody if it was me. My own opinion.
It was hard, let me tell you. They had a reporter there who apparently reported that I had originally won, but then it didn't say anything else.
That's it.
You know, so they just left it hanging and open. And that's when I had a real issue, because they were not taking responsibility for their mistake.
Right. They didn't want to.
And really put me in a bad light, because then that's in the media, and then that makes me look like I'm this scandalous person who lost my title. You know, we know all about scandals in pageantry. I've researched it. Oh my goodness, you do not.
Well, pageant girls are loyal. I had the same thing, Natalie, where I resigned from a pageant, and right away, same thing. You know, 20 plus people deleted me out of their lives, people I was really close to, because they don't want their name attached to you, because they think they might mess with their chances of being a potential candidate for that position.
And you know, luckily, and I have to give a huge shout out to my sister queen. She could have done that, but she did not. She's still friends with me to this day. I love her absolutely.
This is the one that you crowned?
No, I never got to crown anyone. She was crowned along with me. We had dual titles.
I mean, who you crowned Miss Alliance?
No, I never got to crown Miss Alliance. I never got to go back. I mean, they didn't even.
No, I mean, you said you did it in the room an hour after.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. This was not the runner-up.
I mean the fake crown thing.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, my sister queen, there was Miss Panhandle, and then there was Miss Alliance, and we were both crowned. So that's what I'm talking about. No, the runner-up and I are actually, we're good. You know, like it took a couple years, but.
Well, it's not her fault, you know.
No, it's not her fault at all. And I'm happy that she had the opportunity to go to Miss Nebraska in my place. You know, I mean, how incredible is that? You know, I remember she wrote a blog, and she kind of paid tribute to me, which was really nice.
So now that all this time has passed and you had some issues and all of that, as far as your name being cleared, is this your first attempt of letting everyone know? Are there still people out there that this is misrepresented to at this point?
I believe so, because I still have former Miss Nebraskas that have deleted me or are not talking to me. We're talking Miss Nebraskas. I mean, they talked to me when I competed, and when I won, you know, it's like I fell off the face of the earth. Like you said, no, they didn't want association with me. And
you had your story published anonymously, though, didn't you? This is your first time of putting your name out there and saying it was me.
I did. It was anonymously published, and I did want to actually disclose more, but it was up to the decision of, I don't know if I should say who it is, but you know, it was up to the decision of the I guess company that published it. So,
Okay.
you know, it was just really, I didn't get closure from that, and it was just really time to speak out because I'm not a shy person. I'm pretty assertive in my beliefs, and I know that if something like this that's this traumatic happens to you, then it needs to come out. Because,
when you say
Miss
that
Oregon lost her crown and she did not stay quiet and everyone knows about it, but I think she has closure. For me,
what's closure?
I was sick for almost a year and a half. I'm sure it was because of trauma. It was probably other health issues as well. But I was very, very ill, and I was never myself again.
I think the closure, Kyle, is just letting the world know that, hey, this happened to me. It wasn't right. It wasn't my fault. And take that.
Right. Exactly.
That's closure.
Well, another way that you can get closure is by, first of all, getting a coach like me.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
And doing.
She gets 30 minutes with you for being on the show.
How about that? Greatness starts with 30 minutes with Kyle.
Thank you,
absolutely.
Kyle. I'm so excited.
Right. And here's the thing: is that obviously by going on to other things, here's the thing. We all know that you don't need a crown and a sash to do your community service and advocate your platform. You don't need a crown and a sash to do that. Right. A crown and a sash kind of is an accelerator. It pushes it forward a lot faster. Yeah. So regardless of what title you get, you can still use it to advocate the things that you are the most passionate about. Yes. And so don't lose sight of that. You can do that. Okay. I got a couple more comments that I want to make. And since, Natalie, you came on here for this to be a learning lesson for other girls, I want to just kind of throw a couple of things out there as a former Miss America contestant and just kind of get some feedback from you being inside the system. One of the biggest challenges that I have with the Miss America organization is that they're the first to say that they are a scholarship program, and that's that they are. Okay, I mean, I have girls that I've worked with that have paid their college education entirely, through the Miss America program. So I think that's legitimate. But whatever happened to the beauty pageant part of it? Do you feel that that's not relevant anymore in the Miss America program?
I think there's almost as much beauty in it as Miss USA. It's very glamorous, and it's very cutthroat. I mean, fortunately, in my state, we have a lot of sisterhood. I didn't, see that level of competition. Things get nasty, but I've heard of it. Well, I truly believe that it goes on.
Yeah. Well, something. One thing about Miss Nebraska, I've always tried to figure that state out. You all had a young lady there. I didn't know her personally, who had been first runner-up a couple of times.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I know who you're talking about.
Well, out of respect, I'm not going to say her name, but she knows who she is, obviously.
Right.
And, this girl, was extremely good, and in my eyes could have easily made it to the 5, at Miss America. Sure. And why they chose not to crown her is beyond me. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what is it saying about this state? I mean, Nebraska is not like Alabama. Sorry, no offense.
We're not a sash state, you're right.
Okay, you're not Texas, you're not Virginia, you're not Florida. No disrespect to Nebraska, okay? But at the end of the day, you're not in the pageant belt, because we all know the Bible Belt and the pageant belt is the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? So I don't understand that when you have a girl that you look at her, winning preliminaries in the state, clearly good enough to go to Miss America, and your state doesn't crown her. The reason why I bring that up is that tells me that there's problems within the organization, which is just representative of what you're going through.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you've.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so when I look at it big picture, it makes me think, okay, what's happening in Nebraska?
Yeah.
Of all places. So, I don't know. And as far as the Miss America organization is concerned, I wish it would go back to the day where talent was 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I want Miss America to start being Miss America again.
Yes.
I don't want Miss America to be Miss USA with talent.
Right.
I'm just kind of over it. And Natalie, thank you for letting me vent about Miss America on your time.
You're welcome, Kyle. It's refreshing to hear these ideas that people are not like, oh, I love Miss America. There's actually, some people that disagree with some things. I still support Miss America, by the way. I still watch the pageant. I could be so bitter, but I'm not.
Well, here's the thing. Miss America at its core is a wonderful thing.
Oh my gosh,
You know, the heart of the program is in the right place. I just wish that Miss America can decide what it's going to be. If you go back and look, now mind you, I'm about to age myself, okay? One year, the top 10 does talent. Another year, the top 5 does talent. Another year, only the top 2 did talent. What was that all about? Then another year, is the audience going to decide who makes it to the top 15? Then another year, is she going to wear shoes and swimsuit or not? And Natalie, you may not be old enough to remember this, but there was a year where they didn't let the girls wear heels and swimsuit. Really?
Are you serious? Okay, yeah, probably.
The year that I think she was from Kansas, I can't remember her name, won Miss America, they did not wear shoes and swimsuit.
Goodness.
Okay, and then the biggest travesty of it all. Now, mind you, the reason why I'm passionate about it is because I'm passionate about the Miss America organization.
Yes.
So when they do silly stuff, I get passionate about it.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing that just made me go, you have got to be kidding me. Do you remember the year that they had the 3 girls standing there and the contestants had to stand behind the contestant that they wanted to go to the top 16 or whatever?
Yes. That was, I'm sorry. That was ridiculous.
Okay, Carly, I am done venting. Thank you.
I love it when you vent.
Oh, Kyle,
I'm sorry.
You make me feel comfortable here, you know, that's good.
For a decade, I wanted to get the ear of the Miss America organization and go, look, you are a 90-year-old organization. You are the cream of the crop. Girls come out of their mother's wombs wanting to be Miss America. You don't have to change anything. Don't do it.
They want to be modern. I read something about how they're trying to modernize the pageant and make it sexy, like you said, a lot like Miss USA.
Right.
So, yeah, I can see why they're kind of deviating.
Well, Natalie, my question for you, and I'm sure Carly's going to ask, what's next now? You know, let's move on past this. Let's learn more about you and who you are and what's next for you.
Well, yeah, I've absolutely tried to move on. What I did was I became a part of the Miss Collegiate America pageant.
Yay.
Yeah, just this past summer, I went to nationals. I represented at large for Miss Iowa Collegiate. I can do that. Apparently, with at-large titles, you don't have to be living in the state. So that was great. I have family in Iowa. You know, I felt like I was representing my grandparents. It was great. I didn't place or anything at nationals, but, you know, I had an awesome experience. And honestly, this was my comeback for me because I didn't know if I wanted to hold another crown. I knew I wanted to, but I didn't know if I could. I felt like maybe the same thing might happen. I felt like maybe I couldn't trust other organizations, you know. And so I really felt like this was a make it or break it thing for me. If this was good, it turned out good, and I succeeded in it, then I would keep on doing pageants. And I've kind of talked about the USA system, and I'm
Let's talk about that. You're pretty enough to do that. Well, first of all, shout out to the high school and collegiate pageant. I think Amanda, the director, Amanda Patterson does a great program. I've been there before. I've had a top 10 there. So, you know, shout out to them. I think that what they're doing with these girls and empowering these girls and all of that on the collegiate high school, I think they're even doing the junior high now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they are, and they have elementary as well. Yeah.
You know, kudos to Amanda. She's doing a great job with that. I think it's wonderful.
Love you, Amanda, if you're watching.
And with USA, I say do it. I say be fierce and do it.
I agree. Really I'm so proud of you. Yes.
I'm a tiny girl, but you know what? I'm okay with that. Like, yeah, there's going to be stereotypes in pageants, but I'm kind of here to break them.
So give the girls out there some advice that may be in the situation that you're in or possibly can wind up in your situation. What advice would you give them?
I would say always check with your director and make sure that you know that you are the right age to compete.
Get it in writing.
Yeah, get it in writing.
Don't just let her say it to you. Get it in writing.
There's a contract for a reason. You know, I signed that contract and they held me to that contract. And oh, by the way, you know, there was legalities involved. I mean, legally, I guess.
Have you sought legal counsel on this?
What's that?
Have you sought legal counsel on this?
No, but apparently the director decided to get an attorney involved.
Well, she was scared probably because you had a case.
I did, and they did reimburse me a little bit of money, but it wasn't the $3,000 that I invested, you know. Yeah, they came back with a lawyer. I don't know what I got. I got some kind of letter from him. You know, I got a written apology. which I actually had to ask for. It wasn't like the initiative was taken at all. I was also promised a crown and sash, which I never got because it's trademark of Miss America. You know, I don't understand how someone can have jurisdiction in a state and say, oh, yeah, we're going to get you that. And then, sorry, now they have to go to Miss America and they're saying everything is trademarked. Okay, then why did you promise it in the first place?
You know,
that just got my hopes up and then dashed them again. You know?
And the thing about it is that I'm glad that you contacted the Miss America organization about putting the age back. Actually, the age is 26, not 28.
Oh, 26. Okay.
It's 26, okay?
See, I couldn't compete regardless. I'm 26 now. We'd have the same story.
Right, well, it's 26, right. But here's the thing, is that I was around when they changed the age from 26 to 24.
Okay.
And when I tell you, it was devastating for so many girls. Because when they did it, some girls didn't realize it was going to be their last year to compete.
Right.
You know, they just arbitrarily did it. And they said that the reason why they did it is that they wanted to keep it within the realm of girls that are in college. I'm sorry, do girls not have student loans at 26?
Exactly.
Hello, I've been in college for 5.5 years. I just turned 26. I've been in college for almost, I don't know, all my 20s. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't see how 24 should be the cutoff for anyone in college or any pageant for that matter. And yeah, I'm totally with you there, Kyle. Trying to go back to what you were starting to say. Oh yes, so I did get them to amend the contract. If you notice that the contract is a little less ambiguous, that's me.
Okay.
They did listen to me, and they said, you know, yeah, it was a little confusing. Apparently, they had something happen in another state as well with, you know, the wording. It might have even been your client. And, you know, they did change the wording, so it's easier to understand. However, that didn't change anything. And I don't see how you can change the location of the pageant, you know, take it back to the mother city, but not change the age. I still don't understand. They said they have no plans at any point to amend the age.
And, you know, and from a business perspective, the best thing that they can do is do 26. You know, back in the day, it used to be Miss America, Miss USA, and that was it. Okay.
Right.
Now there are dozens of pageants that people have choices now. And you would think from a business perspective that they would want to make it more open for more girls to compete and try to earn scholarship, and instead they're just making it closed. You know, Miss USA is 27, Miss United States is 29.
29, see, yep. There
It's
you go.
29. You know, so
Miss International, I think, is 29 as well.
yes, it is. International's 29. I had the fourth runner-up there, you know, 2 years ago.
Very cool.
And she was 29.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've had a couple of Miss United States too, but we'll have that conversation.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Okay, I'm talking to a celebrity.
But anyway.
He is.
Who the man, Carly?
You the man, Kyle. You the man.
Obviously.
Now, I have another question for you. So now that you have gone public or you've come out, and we all eventually have to come out, right, Carly?
Right, Kyle.
Or else it eats you alive, let me tell you.
Right. So now that you have come out, what is it that you want to say to the girls that were your pageant friends or who you thought were your friends, who defriended you on Facebook or who shut you out? Now that you have come out, what do you have to say to them is the first part of my question. Now you're back at interview competition, by the way. And then the second part is, what will you say to them if they do reach out to you?
You know, I'm not going to hold any hard feelings against anyone. I just find it very hard to have a sisterhood when you're not really being very sisterly, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Pageants gain their stereotypes for a reason. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I think it speaks for itself. But just, I mean.
Well, the best thing you did was put on another crown, Natalie. That's what, you know, same thing. I went through some heartbreak and I put on another crown, and that crown didn't work out either, so I put on another one. And the one I currently have, it's like I trained my whole life for it. It's been such a blessing to me. So you just got to get back out there and put that crown on. And, you know, you're a singer, right?
Yes,
that was part of why you got involved in the Miss America organization, is to further your goals as a singer. What else were you?
I'm very ambitious. I have a lot of ambitions, and I hope to really go far in a career. And Miss America was the perfect catalyst to do that, you know. Like you said, it's the dream machine, Carly.
Yes. Now, what I want you to do, Natalie,
feel like I can...
Natalie, look into the camera, and I want you to speak to the president of the Miss America organization. At this point, now that you have aged out legitimately, I want you to look into the camera and say whatever you need to say to them so you can make the impact that you really want to make so no other girl can go through this.
Well, I realize that I'm probably the first girl that this has happened to on a local level, certainly not a state level, but nonetheless, I want to thank the Miss America organization for all that they do, but I also want to say that they really need to get their directors in check as far as jurisdiction goes, because there are some unscrupulous and underhanded things going on in those local pageants. And we're talking about, I mean, this is changing a girl's life forever. You know, putting her in a position, being a title holder, you know, for her state or whatever, or even on the local level. She becomes a public figure. She's in the public image overnight, you know. So just really need to think about what you're doing when you're being put in a position of power and how that's going to affect a girl's life.
I applaud you, Natalie. I applaud you,
you
so much for opening your heart to us. And Kyle, I love your questions. Good job. And now we get to say goodbye. Natalie, what do you want to leave them with as far as how to get a hold of you?
Well, I'm on Facebook. I don't have a website, but I'll probably get one up soon. Natalie Christina McGovern, you can find me on there. I also have just Natalie McGovern as my public figure profile on Facebook. And then I am Miss Iowa Collegiate America, but not for very much longer.
Awesome.
I kind of gave away my title. You know, it's at large, so they're going to crown another girl. They're going to appoint another girl. But yeah.
And everyone, I hope you were so excited to get to meet the actual, well, okay, Kyle, how did you say it? Technically crowned, but then not crowned Miss Alliance. Is that accurate?
She was crowned, and let's just leave it with that.
Crowned and had, yes, she was,
Kyle.
as far as I'm concerned, she's the real Miss Alliance 2012. At least she was for 60 minutes, and she should have continued to be. Those of you that take applications in pageantry, learn how to do math, and don't give a girl hope when you should have just said, no, I'm sorry, you weren't the right age. You could have handled that, couldn't you, Natalie?
Absolutely.
If they would have just said sorry.
Actually. Maybe,
Right.
I don't know, maybe it was supposed to happen.
Hey,
But all I know is pursue your dreams, but definitely know the rules. Know the rules of each pageant. You know, I made sure for the other pageants I was competing in that I was meeting the age requirements and all of the other requirements that are in the
Awesome.
contract.
So, Kyle, what kind of shout-outs do you want to leave?
Well, first of all, Natalie, thank you so much for coming. Let's go ahead and get that Nebraska USA crown. Let's have that conversation.
Yes,
And
sir.
to all the ladies and gentlemen out there that compete in pageantry as well as any other competition, what I always tell you is to believe in yourself. Never, ever give up on your dreams, regardless of who you are or where you're from. All greatness begins with you.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I know, right, Natalie? How do I follow that?
I can't follow that at all.
You
Carly.
rocks.
Not at all.
But Natalie, I know it was a huge thing for you to step out and to do this with us, and I just can't even convey to you how proud I am of you, because there are other girls that have dealt with this. I know there are, in other situations that have been hushed into silence out of fear. And you tonight, you stepped out of your fear and you turned that heartbreak into victory, and I am so proud of you. Thank you so much for being on Pageant Verite, and thank you everyone so much for watching us. Till next time, catch you later. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a winning
Thank
day.
you, Carly. Thank you, Kyle. Can I give a quick shout out?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to Teresa Scanlon. She's, you know, a big
Your
role model in
inspiration.
my life. I got to
She's
meet her,
near
by the
me.
way.
She's in the Commonwealth of Virginia. She's here in school now, so that's awesome.
You say
Awesome.
Carissa Cameron?
No,
Who did you
Teresa
say?
goes to school here too.
Oh, Teresa, yes. Yes, she
Yes.
does. I know. I follow her on Facebook. Very cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, got to meet her. Like I said, big inspiration for me, obviously.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Natalie. And everyone, have a great rest of your week. And Kyle, we can't wait to watch you on, now your website is?
www.weproducewinners.com, because that's what we do.
You do produce winners. You rock, and you're going to be giving Natalie 30 minutes of free training advice, right?
Absolutely, without question. Natalie, hit me up. Let's get it done. Nebraska, USA. We said
All
it.
right. Let's do it.
All right.
Go,
Thank
go
you, Kyle.
Natalie. Go, Natalie.
Carly.
Thanks, everyone. Good night. Mwah. Bye-bye.
Yeah.